Hey, welcome to On the Up and Up with Patrick and
Talisha.
And today's episode is all about the best thing that you can do for your marriage. But before we get started with that, we have shout-outs and reviews. And we give shout-outs for interactions with our Instagram accounts and our social medias and interacting with our Facebook page at Patrick and Talisha. You can follow our official podcast Instagram at Patrick and Talisha. You can follow me at I am Pat Ratliff. You can follow Talisha at
The Farm D Mommy.
And like I said, go over there and like our page on Facebook at Patrick and Talisha. And also email the show with questions that you have on life and marriage at podcast at patrickandtalisha.com. And also, to help our show, please go to iTunes and leave us a 5-star rating and give us a review. And we will read your review on our next show. And this also gives you the best chance to win our prestigious, one-of-a-kind, Hall of Fame worthy listener of the week. So, Talisha, what shout-outs do you have for today? Or this week? Or last week? All the shout-outs you have.
For today and this week and last week, I have Mandy, Ashley, Mandy, and Twean.
All right, and from my Instagram, we have Summer Rose, and we have Fashion ABLYJD. That's Maria Parks. That's Calvin's wife.
Hey, Maria.
It's Damani, Shannon Eichelberger, Legacy LLC, Laddie Gat, The Real Crusher, Forever Marriages, ES2 Photography, One Chocolate Noop for You, Sam Nicky, Marriage Legacy Builders. We got a lot. Keita Jackson 24, Joseph D. Barr, Ultimate Intimacy, Vanilla Ann, Chancey EST1, Sir Don 2, Manny Makes Goals, Tay 1 Up, Love MK3, The Black Walt Disney, Greenville Training, Trophy 915, and Said Talk. Boy, I was on it. Oh, y'all was on it. Oh, yes, that's what's up. Yes.
That is a really good list.
And Miss Gigi Truth, Bulletproof Love, Bolder Marriage. Okay. All right. That was a good one. See? Keep interacting with our Facebook. Well, actually, interact with our Instagram and interact with our Facebook. Just do it all. I do it all.
All right, Patrick, do we have any reviews?
We do. We got 1 5-star rating, and they left a review. So when you leave us a 5-star rating and a review, we read your review on the show. And this one comes from The One Truth. Having fun, loving each other. Listening to the podcast that you do together reminds me of the love that my grandparents share with each other. My grandparents have been married for 71 years and counting. And listening to the things that they tell me that keeps them loving each other for so long, I see through your podcast. Wow. You both are open with each other and have fun loving each other. That we do. I love the fact that you are sharing your experiences with everyone because in relationships, a lot of experiences are similar. It's the reaction to the experience that differs. Facts. Those reactions have to be compatible to your partner's needs and personality. Talisha, thank you for loving on my cousin. And Patrick, thank you for loving on Talisha the way great-grandma Estelle and great-grandpa Barney would have wanted you to do. Much love to both of you. And that comes from The One Truth. Now, he was anonymous, and I had to go out there and find him, and say, like, hey, was this you? Because he left the context clues with, obviously, cousin. And I reached out to our family members because we got a family text chat. They was like, I don't know who that was. And then I might be my cousin Jared. And I texted Jared. He said, I am the culprit.
Oh.
He confessed. And then that was a great review because our family, at my grandma's funeral, my cousin Jackie gave the remarks, and she said, a lot of people in my family live for a long time. Mm-hmm. And Jared, his grandparents have been married for 71 years, and Uncle Wesley traveled up here to my grandma's funeral because it was his sister. He's 98 years old, man.
Yeah.
He's 98 years old, and he looks fantastic.
He looks great.
He looks fantastic. He looks amazing. And his wife, Billy, she was in Augusta, Georgia. She didn't make the trip, but he did, man. And I'm just, man, That is old love, and I appreciate that. Any kind of comparison we can get to them too.
That's what I was just about to say. I would. That is goals.
That's
relationship
goals. That's relationship goals. They really got relationship
right
goals. 71 years, that's relationship goals, homie.
Yeah. So thank you, Jared. That was truly a beautiful comment.
Yes. And
thank you.
We appreciate it, Cuzzo. And you got the guys caught up to tie these women, because now it is 4-4. And I told you my men would come through, because we take marriage more seriously than the women's out there. I told you my guys came through.
Yep, second best.
It's tied up. We're going to get y'all next week too. We might have 2 men might put in 2 reviews. We might have 2 male listener of the weeks.
Don't hold your breath, Pat.
I can't hold my breath, because I know I can depend on my guys to come through. We will win this. We will win this.
We shall see. Talk shit.
All right, guys. So I need y'all to leave a review out there. Don't be leaving me out here looking stupid.
I don't have to put out that kind of PSA. I know my ladies have my back.
Whatever. We're more dedicated to marriage, and that's the bottom line.
Because Stone Cold
said so. Now, the one truth, a.k.a. Jared Henry. Does he follow us on Instagram?
He does.
Does he like our Facebook page at Patrick and Talisha?
Oh, yeah.
Did he leave us a 5-star rating and review?
He did.
Oh, you know what that means. Oh, I need a drum roll, please. Jared Henry, that makes you on the up and up with Patrick and Talisha's. Another drum roll, please. Our listener of the week. He's the listener of the week. The listener of the week. We about to take your pictures and put them on the social media, the Instagram and the Facebook, and make an audio clip, because that's what we do now. We do the new stuff for the greatest listeners in the world.
Greatest listeners in the world.
Yep. Now let me tell y'all a little bit about Jared Henry. He is a master educator, a master youth baseball coach, a master father to amazing son, DJ, and baseball coach. He wins all the championships. And he is a Kappa. Yeah, he's a noob. That's all right. Can't be all perfect, all right? Sometimes we lose our ways. But he is family. And I love him.
Yes.
So, Jared Henry, congratulations on becoming our 8th listener of the week and tying the men back up with these women to show them that we do care about relationships way more than women. We're more passionate. You saw the passion in the rating and review. 71 years comparing our marriage. He loves us.
Now, the comparison was dope.
Yes.
And his review was even doper. But let me just tell you, the ladies run this. Yeah.
No. We're going to win next week, too.
Okay.
We're going to
win. Good luck.
Guys, like I said, don't let me down.
Good luck.
Nah, I'm putting it down. Guys getting 2 reviews in. So we're going to be ready. So congratulations, Cuzzo, big Cuzzo. Now, baby.
From the 404.
From the 404, big Cuzzo. Man, bars. All right. So go out there, leave us a 5-star rating and review.
Ladies.
Men.
Ladies.
You know what? I don't give a crap. Anyone, you go out there and leave us a 5-star rating and review so you can blast us up the charts on iTunes and make us blow up. And if you make us blow up, we'll make you blow up. 5-star rating and review. You give us 4-star and you say we're the greatest thing in the world, I will not read it. You give me a 5-star rating and review and say we suck, I will read it. You know? We just want them 5 stars, you dig? So go out there and do that on the iTunes. Now, if you got an Android, I don't know what you could do. Log onto your computer on iTunes and leave us a rating and review if you want this prestigious award. If you want your life to change, become listener of the week on Up and Up with Patrick and Talisha. If you want your life to change. If you was having a bad year, that will fix your 2020.
Yep, 2020 stimulus check right there. Listener of the week.
Believe that.
Believe that, homie.
All right, baby. So you know what we got to do next. We got to review our weeks. So what was on the up and up for you, madam?
All right. So on the up and up for me was my first lecture at the pharmacy school. It was great. It is actually the reason why our podcast is not being put out the time that it's supposed to be put out, because I was preparing for the lecture and making sure that I had my ducks in a row. So yeah, that was really rewarding. It was hard to get time away from the kiddos, but Patrick, you held it down so that I could get that time away from the chaps and get my presentation together. So that was definitely on the up and up for me. Additionally, my down and down was my freaking leg. Oh my gosh. It's like sciatic pain, nerve pain. It sucks. It has been bothering the crap out of me. And at church on Sunday, I went up and prayed and got prayed for. And Pastor Donnie's message was shake it off. And I literally was up there praying in the altar, and I was like, I gotta shake this off. And someone just said, like, well, start jumping in. Like, if it's gone, start jumping. And I did. And I tell y'all, this morning I woke up and there was literally no pain there. And I have been struggling with this for the last 3 weeks. It has really, really been like awful last week. But yeah, so it was my down and down, but it also is part of my up and up. So I thank God for complete healing, and I'm just thrilled. What was on the up and up for you?
So wait, go back. So
what?
About your leg, did anyone touch your leg?
Patrick, you
didn't mention none of that.
Okay, well, because God trumped your
You didn't mention
massage,
none of it.
But you absolutely did. You rubbed my leg.
Faith without works is dead.
You put into work, homie. You put into work. Thank you so much. You put lotion on me and you rubbed my leg, and I asked you to do that even though you wanted me to use the foam roller. The foam roller,
which is what it's there for.
I needed you to rub it, and I thank you, and I thank God. But I thank God first.
Yeah, definitely it was God. But he wanted me to be a good husband and rub your leg.
Absolutely.
So,
I need you to do that again tonight.
We're going to bed. All right, ask me a question again.
What was on the up and up for you, Patrick Ratliff?
All right, what was on the up and up for me was last week, our podcast officially reached over 2,500 downloads. But that is not just our accomplishment. That is y'all's accomplishment. Mm-hmm. The greatest listeners in the world's accomplishment for helping us get to over 2,500 downloads. Like I said, when we started this bad boy back in July, had no clue who we were talking to. I was like, I'll be glad if 5 people download this thing.
Right.
But we have surpassed over 2,500 people, man. That's a lot of people, man. And just for our small little podcast, man, we appreciate you guys for being loyal and listening to us. And just and giving us feedback. Like, it's hard to get ratings and reviews out there. I've looked at other people's podcasts and like the Buzzsprout community group, man. They were like, man, I can't get no ratings and reviews. How do you guys do it? And I was like, well, you simply need to have the greatest listeners in the world. Okay. That's my advice for everybody. You need the greatest listeners in the world. And we do have the greatest listeners in the world. So I appreciate you guys for rocking with us, giving us that feedback and helping us with our content. We go off of what y'all tell us to talk about. And we also we're almost at 500 likes on our Facebook page. So we went from like 100 to like over 500 because we just started like bringing people in, inviting people to our page because we're getting more confident in our message and what we're actually saying out there to help marriages around the world, because we are an international podcast. All right. Yes. And what was on the down and down for me? Well, this past Saturday, we buried my grandmother. We laid her to rest, and now she is in heaven with my granddaddy. So that was sad, but she had Alzheimer's for about like the last 8 years. So I am happy that she is now free of that horrible, horrible disease. And she's at peace now because she had that old love, man. Like once my grandpa passed in like 2005, but it was in 2005. She kind of wasn't the same. I mean, she missed him, man. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad that they're united up in heaven in the kingdom. And like I said last week, man, I will pick up that torch and carry that bad boy for our family and let them know that the steps that they took will not be in vain. Like I said, I'll pick that torch up and run with it. So yeah, so that was down, but it was still up because God doesn't make any mistakes, man. And like I said, I just want to honor her memory, and she's a part of this, and she will live forever in our hearts.
Amen.
Amen. And now it is time for Bible recap. Bible recap. Do the Bible recap. Do the Bible recap. All right, I gotta be quick with it.
Is that a different theme song from last time?
I don't know. Look. I don't know. We got different musicians. You know, I hire these guys every week. So, you know.
Contract workers.
All right, yeah. So, all right, Bible recap here. All right, I finished Judges. Judges is messed up, all kinds of messed up. Let me tell y'all about the Judges. All right, so, shoot. Very disturbing stories in this book of the Bible. All right, so we're going to pick up Jephthah. Jephthah was a mighty warrior, and he had beef with the Ammonites. And he made a vow with the Lord and said, if you help me beat these Ammonites, then I will sacrifice the first thing walking in through that door. And showed up, he beat the Ammonites, and showed up, the first thing that walked through his door in his house was his daughter, his only daughter. So guess what he did? He sacrificed his only daughter. Okay? And that's not what you're supposed to do, because if you go back to Leviticus, it says, don't sacrifice children. So that section of the Bible is called the tragic vow. So he made this tragic vow. And if he would have known the laws of the Lord, he would have known that you do not sacrifice your own children or sacrifice children in general. Because the reason why God is conquering these lands around the Israelites is because they worship other gods, but they also participate in child sacrifice. Like these dudes, these other tribes, the Canaanites, they're not holy people. They sacrifice children to their gods. So when God goes in there and delivers him into the hands of the Israelites, that's because of stuff like that, man. It's not just peaceful people out there. They're wicked. They're wicked, you dig? And so that was Jephthah's story. He was a judge. And then the most famous judge that we know is Samson. So y'all know Samson with the long hair and amazing strength. He had married a Philistine. God don't rock with the Philistines, right? And Samson liked the hoes a lot. Samson really liked the hoes. He loved the hoes, matter of fact. So he had married that Philistine, and he wasn't supposed to. So what happened to her? She ended up getting set on fire. All right. Killed her and the daddy. The Philistine set them on fire. They had to fall. So very violent. And then he ended up laying with that girl, Delilah. And she's like, oh, Samson, tell me your secret. You don't love me if you tell your secret. And Samson fell for it. And guess what the dummy did? He told his secret. She cut his hair. He lost his powers. The Philistines caught up with my man. They gouged his eyes out. So he couldn't see a daggum thing. They tied him up in the basement of whatever freaking rock palace that they had. And so Samson finally cries out to God, God, I need you this time because I lost all my powers. I need you for me this one time. All right. So God gives him the power for the one time. Samson gets all his strength back. He pulls down all the pillars and the whole building collapses, kills over 3,000 people. Everyone dies. So he dies in a very brutal, violent fashion. That's not the worst one. All right. The worst one is the Levite. This cat is the Levite and his concubine. Oh, this one's nasty. All right. So the Levites, they're God's chosen people within the tribe. They're like the priests. They didn't get any land inheritance because God wanted to keep them for himself. So they're God's people. But this Levite had a concubine. And so one of the tribes of Israel is called the tribe of Benjamin. And they was out there acting completely wild. So this Levite and his concubine, they was traveling in this tribe of Benjamin city. And the dudes wanted to gang rape him. So he was like, you're not going to gang rape me. You can have my concubine. So the gang raped the concubine and beat her all night. And they sent her back to him. So she was dead. And so the Levite took a knife and cut her body up into 12 pieces and sent it all to all the 12 tribes of Israel, saying, look what the tribe of Benjamin did to this girl, to this woman. And he didn't ever mention the part that he actually played in. And in it. And so Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel was like, all right, we're going to war with the tribe of Benjamin. So it's Israel's first civil war. All right. So they fight with the tribe of Benjamin. They eventually win. Tribe of Benjamin did give them like 2 L's, but then they ended up taking over the tribe of Benjamin and killing all those people in the tribe of Benjamin except 600. There were 600 left. And then the Israelites vowed like, hey, we can't give our daughters to none of these people from the tribe of Benjamin. All right, so what we gonna do? How they gonna get married? They weren't gonna kill the bloodline, but they promised that they ain't gonna get none of their daughters. So what ended up happening is there was one tribe that didn't agree to fight with the 12 tribes of Israel, so they went and killed their men, women, and children and kidnapped their wives. And they only got 400 of them. So there's 200 wives left to give to the men of the tribe of Benjamin who survived. So they went and go kidnap some more women from a local tribe and took them and said, hey, the rest of these 200 women, y'all going to be with the rest of these tribes of Benjamin so we can keep the bloodline going. So yeah, so that's Judges. Very violent, very rapey. And then, but what people say was like, if God's so great, then how did he let all this happen? Ha ha ha, ha ha ha. In Judges, God is not with them. God is not with them. They were so wicked and did everything that they wanted to do basically during the Judges' time. It was like anarchy in Israel. All right. And so like the last sentences, they did what was right in their own eyes. Okay. Not what was in God's eyes, but what was in their own eyes. And that's why it was such a terrible, terrible time in Judges. Ooh. So that is my Bible recap. Ooh. Judges was rough. Judges is rough. So yeah, God wasn't with them. That's why they screwed up. So yeah.
Yeah. That was a good recap though.
Yeah. So we added a new segment. We want to be transparent with you guys. So each week we're going to try to see what we argued about this week. And tell you guys what kind of fight did we get into, because we ain't that perfect happy couple on the podcast talking about our marriage is so perfect and this is how you fix your marriage and this is how you make your marriage so perfect. Heck no, we go through crap all the time. So what I had beef with Talisha this week is she ordered a cheesecake.
A slice of cheesecake.
She ordered She ordered a slice of cheesecake. I didn't know she ordered a slice of cheesecake. So the cheesecake delivery man delivers
Wait,
our house. No,
shout out to Xavier and Ashley Moses of Extreme Cheesecakes.
So delivery man from Cheesecake rings our door at night, and I'm like, who is that? Oh, it's Xavier with the cheesecake.
The mastermind behind the delicious cheesecake that you so mad about. You still mad.
I'm not even. Can I get through my story? Can I tell?
Oh my god!
Can I tell him why I'm mad? Can I tell him why I'm mad? Thank you. He delivers the cheesecake. And I open the door. I'm thinking I'm getting a cheesecake. I get one. Hands me one slice. I'm like, who this for? I guess it's one person. It's 4 people in my house. It's 4 people in my house. So why would you order one darn slice of cheesecake for yourself? That is selfish. And so I look back at it. I was like, okay. And so that's what my beef with you was. You order one slice for yourself, knowing that you got tax collectors, our 2 children. When you eat something, you must pay taxes to our children. And you ordered one slice, and that wasn't enough. And that cheesecake slice was absolutely delicious. So defend yourself.
Oh my gosh, that cheesecake was the bomb. I was trying to have self-control. I wasn't even thinking about no doggone cheesecake. Ashley decided to tag me on Facebook, talking about, you want to try it? And I'm like, heck yeah, I want to try it. So I paid for the cheesecake slice. I was not going to buy a whole cheesecake. We didn't even need the slice, but I paid for the slice so we can get a little taste of heaven today. That is it.
Selfishness.
I was planning on sharing it. You lucky I didn't have it delivered to my parents' house. That's what I'm going to do next time. Since you want to be the tax man, talk about the tax collectors. Nah, you are not trying to try the cheesecake. You got the biggest bites of cheesecake. And I don't understand why the bites were so big when this was a sample.
It wasn't a sample. If it was a sample. They would have brought in a bite. You brought the whole product.
Sample. So, long story short, Extreme Cheesecakes, you rock, because we went ahead and got that second slice, and Patrick was so kind. Oh, and I did offer to give you the last bite because I am a loving wife.
Just because you felt guilty. Exactly, because you were guilty for your
guilty schmilty.
You were guilty for your transgression. Exactly. Anyways, I got another beef with you.
What?
Got another beef. Remember yesterday when I said I would be watching the children as you would come in here and prepare for your lecture? Right? You remember this?
Yeah.
And you come, and this is how it goes. So when I'm watching both of the boys by myself, it is critical to get them into a rhythm where they're at peace and they're not tearing anything up. They aren't fighting with each other because they're 3 and 1 and they're starting to fight with each other a lot. They're not crying when mommy leaves, and I'm watching them for like an hour and we're at peace. And then Talisha shows her freaking face. So when she shows her face, our 1-year-old is like, first of all, he forgets that she went missing. Because when she leaves, he starts crying. And then he finally forgets that, oh, okay, mom is gone. I'm cool. And then she shows her face again. She pops her face out, and then he starts, oh, I want mommy again. He forgets that mama was left, and now mommy's here, so he can start crying again because he's so attached to mommy. And I was like, I had him at freaking peace. We was good. So she disrupts my flow of watching my 2 boys. And so she disrupted the flow. And she was like, I was coming out here for some spray.
Jerk.
I was like, no, don't show your face. Freaking get back in there and get to working on your lecture. That's so freaking important. Anyway, so bottom line is I gave her 3 hours of peace and quiet to come work on her lecture, and she didn't have to show her face, but she wants to show her face because she wants to feel like she's important. And she wants me to look like a bad father who can't watch his children. So I had beef with that.
Oh, bullcrap. So I came out there because I was trying to be considerate and get some spray. Because whenever I get test anxiety or preparing for a lecture or a presentation, sometimes I gotta go to the bathroom and do number 2. And I was trying to spray so you wouldn't hear it or smell it.
Show you, yeah. Keep that to yourself. We couldn't smell it. We was good. You show your face, you disrupt all my zen and all my flow.
Whatever.
And it's really hard to get to that
And I
stage.
can't help it that I am mommy dearest and the children want me.
You tried to sabotage me. All right, any beef you got with me, babe? Of course not. I'm perfect.
You ain't perfect.
Yeah, I was perfect.
That's for dang sure. And no, I don't really have any beef with you.
All right, so let's get into the best thing that you can do for your marriage. All right, so the best thing that you can do for your marriage is invest in your marriage. We see so many couples who spend all this money on the wedding ceremony and then don't spend anything into the development and growth of their marriage. So we'll use our figures for example. So our wedding cost $10,000.
That was the budget. Ended up costing
You went
about
over $10,000.
$20,000.
All them goddamn flowers. I know I came out the pocket $10,000.
And then my daddy did.
All that money I saved living in my mom's basement, you got wiped out with some freaking flowers. Anyways, don't get me started. Don't get me freaking started. All right. I thought it was $10,000. It ended up being 20. You kidding me? Whatever. All right. So, yeah. So I guess our
and that was our budget didn't even hit the average.
What?
I don't know what the average is nowadays, but back then I think the average wedding cost $34,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, yeah, so that's what we spent. But we have spent, fortunately, we have spent more in personal development. Yay! So we wanted our marriage to work, and we didn't even think about it, though. We didn't think, oh, this is going to make our marriage better. We were just like, we tried to make our life better.
Right.
And then making our lives better, making our marriage better turned out to be a result, an outcome from that. It was like, because we had no clue about like conflict resolution or how to like have empathy. I sure didn't. My empathy sucked. I could not feel what I did not give a crap what people felt. I was a pull up by your bootstraps. All right.
Yeah, that's true. You really, yeah.
I was a
Your
selfish
empathy
prick.
was not there. I'm an empathetic person.
You're an
I've always
empathetic
been
person.
empathetic.
I was a selfish prick. And then one day, just one day I was like, you know what? I care for people. I don't know where it happened, but I just started to care for people. All right. And so I went to coaching school because first of all, corporate America just freaking sucked. Well, it doesn't suck. It just wasn't feeding me life. And I was like, there's got to be more than this. First, I saw a guy who worked at our company 35 years get nothing for his like retirement except a cake and like 10 people there celebrating his retirement. And I was one of them. And I was like, well, god darn, is this it? 35 years? My man ain't even getting a watch. I was like, I'm not even 35 years old. And so he's giving like longer than I've been on this earth, he gave to the company and he got nothing. And then 9 months later, he died. So I was like, I can't give my life to this company because they will not appreciate it. They will not care. And if I died anyway, they'll just replace me the next day. So that's when I had to turn the focus inward and like try to work on myself and try to figure out what am I good at. And like I said, podcast changed my life. And I heard this guy on the podcast saying that he was a coach and stuff. So I reached out to him and he said, hey, go to this coaching school. And so I went to the coaching school and I was like, hey, you can bring a guest. I was like, well, who should I bring as my guest? I brought my lovely wife, Talisha, and she was supposed to come for one weekend.
Oh, and before we even went, I said they're gonna try to sell me. Oh, you can bring guests. You can bring guests. Oh, we're just gonna try to get the guests to be a part of the coaching school. I ain't doing it.
Yeah. So you did that, and then we got through that weekend, which is very intensive.
The first day.
First day.
And then at the end of that night, remember, I was like, so I know this is supposed to be for you.
Yeah.
But I gotta know more.
Oh, because you were scared. Because you were like hesitant about, I'm going to impose on Patrick's dream.
Right.
That's what you were scared of. It's just like, dang, this is my baby's dream. And I'm just going to come and take over. You didn't want to be like, I'm taking over.
Yeah. I didn't want to
like stealing my shine,
thunder.
like someone who would propose at someone else's wedding.
Yeah.
Some crap like that,
exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So, you said, hey, I want to do it too. I was like, that'd be a great idea. I'd be glad to have you along on this journey with me.
Yeah.
And so we ended up getting our coaching certifications. Full disclosure, that coaching program cost $10,000 for one person.
Yeah.
And then, so it was a huge decision because that's $20,000 right there off the rip. And this is when we actually had money. We actually had money because I was actually like working and not trying to be an entrepreneur. So I had like that good corporate money and that good old insurance. Boy, I tell you, that insurance was fire. When you try to be an entrepreneur, please look into what insurance you have because you will. That's a huge cost that you never factor into when you want to become an entrepreneur. But we'll talk about that on a different day, on another episode. Healthcare and how it can break your marriage.
And your bank.
And ruin you financially, which is ridiculous if we're the most richest country in the world. Anyways, okay. I digress. So yeah, so that's $20,000 off the rip. So it ended up, we used that as a $20,000 investment in our relationship, being certified professional coaches. Because we learned some great, amazing life skills. Like I said, I continue to say like that was the best education that I ever received. And I got an undergrad in finance and I got a master's degree in business administration. But I'm one of those people who would be like, I don't give a gosh darn how many degrees you got if you're not applying it or using skills that people value. What did your degree actually mean? I think sometimes it's a hustle in education. Sometimes, because like I said, we got $1 trillion in student loans, but people can't produce incomes to actually even pay off those loans. So sometimes Like academia can be, unless you're truly intentional about what kind of career you have. But they don't tell you about that coming in there. They were like, hey, come get this degree. Your life will be better.
Right. And I mean, and I guess this can be for another episode as well, but also having those intentional conversations, like, because I am obviously in academia now. And so having those conversations with my students and just saying, hey, don't get those refund checks just to put them in your bank account and look at them. That's not smart.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just having those type of conversations, which I had those conversations.
Yeah.
Whenever I was going through.
Yeah, they don't tell you. So you're just like, you got this huge student loan, but you don't have but you got like a degree that don't no one want or don't no one want to give you a job for. Like political science degree alone doesn't give you much unless you go to law school, or biology degree doesn't give you much unless you go to med school or pharmacy school. Like standing alone, it doesn't give you much, but it costs a whole bunch.
Right.
And you be stuck. So there are holes in our education system that need to be filled. But at the same time, people getting paid. As long as the people with power getting paid, they're not going to do much to stop it.
Yeah.
So that's why coaching school helped me become a better leader. It helped me become a better communicator. It helped me better at planning my life a lot better. And like I said, it helped me with my empathy and my emotional IQ. Because a lot of people have very low emotional IQs, and they're in positions of authority. And that's what frustrated me so much about like my corporate job is like, once I got like all these leadership development skills and I looked at our leadership and I was like, oh, we could just be doing this so much better.
Yeah.
If we really cared about like the people doing the work and not just the work itself. So that was one of my reasons why I decided to like leave corporate and try to work with corporations to try to help them see like you can actually have more profit and more productivity if you just cared about the people who you employed and not just the bottom line number of like feeding the shareholders. I mean, that's important, but if you take care of the people, I think you'll have more long-term results and you'll get what you want, and people won't be quitting and the turnover rate won't be so high and people won't be so stressed and thinking about Monday, I want to kill myself, because that's when people think about it. Sunday night, dang, I don't want to go to work, and they're absolutely miserable.
Yeah, that's very, very true. But yeah, so coaching.
Yeah.
Back to the subject at hand. Coaching school was amazing. They had what's called mods, and so you had 3 mods. That first mod was the one where you get to bring a guest. Everybody brought a guest. I'm pretty sure I'm the only guest from our group that stayed and wanted to do the whole continued the program. So then the second and third mod, again, these are like really intense. Emotionally intense, time intensive. Like these mods would be like, okay, you have all day Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We would start at 8 and finish at 7. Yeah. So
30-hour weekends.
Yes. So oh my goodness, it was so great. Like the people that we got to meet, it was great. Like seeing them grow and seeing them change.
All different walks of life.
Yeah, people leaving corporate America, people just wanting to change. Some people had already left beforehand. Patrick was still, working, and I was still working. But it was just truly life-changing, because there were the school that we went to, they did energy coaching. And so like whenever you hear it at first, it's like energy.
It's
okay.
All wonky.
Yeah, whatever. And energy coaching, that is the real deal.
It's the real deal, homie.
And so it's like you're not coaching the person, you're coaching the energy.
Yeah.
And it just changes things.
Yeah, it changes how you like see. And basically you can get like a psychology degree. They explain psychology and how the mind works in forms of energy. So we're able to, now we have the skills to like dissect any type of situation with any type of person and not fix it, but help them advance their life forward beyond that situation. Now, there's a difference between coaching and therapy and counseling and all that other stuff. So as coaches, we work with you to work towards the future. Counseling and therapy, they work on your past issues and try to help you heal from those past issues. Now, the way that they intertwine and intersect, coaching is therapeutic, but it's not therapy.
Right.
Our goal is to not help you heal from the past so you can operate in the present. Our goal is that you're already good enough in the present, and we help optimize you for the future. And that's what we do in our marriage coaching. Like, your marriage isn't broken. We just optimize it for the future so that you can have the best marriage possible and you can get there faster.
Right. So it's taking something that's good and making it
phenomenal. So
phenomenal.
And
Exactly.
talking about that, like, what has coaching done for you as the preceptor at the Methadone Clinic, and what has it done for you so far in your short little career as the experiential coordinator?
That's a great question. So whenever Patrick went into the coaching program, I was like, I could do this because I'm a preceptor. And as a preceptor, like, I had already won one award, and I was like, well, how do I keep this up? How do I maintain this same level of experience for the students? And so I was like, this will really put me over the edge. And so that was kind of my motivation behind doing it. And so it helped me because I had students who were literally coming from all different walks of life. I had patients who were coming from all different walks of life. And it just allowed me to be able to talk to them and communicate with them on a whole different level. I was able to empathize better because, again, I had already, like, empathy was strong for me, but this made it like, whoa.
You were able to take the judgment out.
Yes, exactly. Because I am the quote unquote judge.
Yes.
And so it just opened my eyes and made me be more self-aware. So if I could be more aware of myself, then it made me be able to be more aware of others.
Yeah.
So it propelled me to get more awards with my students.
Oh, more awards with your students? You mean being the 6-time preceptor of the year for each pharmacy school in South Carolina. So what y'all don't know about Talisha is that she is, with 6 championships, she is the Michael Jordan of preceptors for pharmacists. 5 times, only 5?
5.
I think you got 6, whatever. Because you retired early. You retired from your post. Because you retired, you left the game early because now you work for a PC. They even hired you because you were so darn good. It's because my baby, like, look, like, she literally transformed lives of the students, man. I'm sitting here in the gym doing CrossFit, and a older lady walks up to me and says, "You're Dr. Ratliff's husband, are you not?" And I said, "Why, yes, I am." Proudly, she said, "My daughter did a rotation at her clinic, and she thinks your wife is the best thing since sliced bread. And she is now doing her residency in Raleigh, North Carolina." Like, people's parents walk up to me in the streets and say how Talisha has transformed their child's life. That's how boss my wife is. And they recognize me as the husband. I was like, "You dang right I'm Talisha's husband." All right? I'm like a baller's wife or a pharmacist's husband, you dig? I'm like, "You dang right." Because she's the GOAT. She's like, literally, like, she transforms those kids' lives. Because just because you're educated doesn't mean you know how to be professional in a professional working environment. And she has made them better professionals. She's made them more confident in their lives, and they have gone on, because some of these kids, I don't think I'm good enough to apply for a residency. And Talisha be like, "Go apply for the residency." She coaches them, and then boom, they go out there and get the residency. And then they never thought they could do it before. So she instills all the confidence in the world in them and just gives them all these types of lessons that they wouldn't have received if they didn't go to Talisha's rotation. And she challenges them in ways that they've never been challenged before. It's really fascinating to see them grow. And they're like, and they all come, like, the mark of a good teacher is like seeing the students come back and showing how far they've come since they've been trained by their sensei. And they always come back to sensei saying, "Because of you, my life has changed and my life is better." And she's done that for her students. And I'm so proud of you for that.
Wow.
But I think that is due.
It's due to coaching.
Very, very much to coaching school.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it really transformed me so that I can transform others. So
Yeah.
thank you for that. That was really sweet, Patrick.
Yes.
Tear up.
Yes, and you made you it made you a juggernaut. You were a juggernaut in the pharmacy world. So in terms of like marriage and what this has done for our marriage, we did learn specific skills from coaching school. One great one was active listening. And what active listening helped me do was listen better to my wife, because I don't know if y'all know, as men, I don't like to listen to a lot of that chit chat, yit yak from the wives. And you're like, yeah. Say what? Yeah. For real? Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. And then they keep going. But coaching taught me how to be an active listener. And that's not only to just listen to what they're saying, but also feel what they're saying and also understand what was not being said. So, understand what?
Patrick.
What?
That's what you would hear?
What I told people I was a selfish prick, right? So I wouldn't want to hear about your day and how someone at work made you mad. And they're like, yeah. Okay, whatever. That's great. So I really had no feeling for what you said. I'm like, oh my gosh, here she goes complaining about her day. Because I would never bring like my work situations back and talk about it. I'm like, I don't give a crap. It's work. Once I'm at home, I'm at home. I don't care about work anymore. I don't bring my work home. But
I do.
But wives, women, they're more of like the full life. They focus on the full life. They don't like separate like the work and the home life. I'm like, hey, I'm about to talk about what happened at work. I mean, I don't give a crap. I'm like, I had a horrible day at work, but I'm home now. I'm not there anymore. Don't have to think about it till tomorrow. All right, and I ain't about to tell you about my day because I don't care about work. Especially when people hate their jobs. They don't freaking care. Women, if they hate their jobs, they're going to talk about it even more.
Very true.
All right. And so coaching like gave me that ability to actively listen. I was like, all right, cool. And then not only what she said, but what was not being said. So if someone was missing, I could fill in the blanks of the puzzle pieces and be like, oh yeah, you know what? I wasn't even saying that, but that was a key.
You're right. And then for me, as far as active listening goes, it would help you wives whenever they're talking about fantasy football and why they didn't get the amount of points they were supposed to get because they left somebody on the bench. Or if they're talking about the game that they're doing and how they're pillaging villages, and
or if they're complaining about like not getting enough sex, like, oh dang, what's not being said? Hey, I'm not getting enough sex. He might be saying, I feel rejected, or I don't feel confident anymore. Like with active listening, you can hear that. Right. Instead of him just complaining about not getting sex, it's not purely physical. You can listen to the emotional and the mental aspect and things that he's actually discussing.
Right.
You can hear more because you're more active in your listening.
And additionally, with coaching, it also just really helped us hone in on the skill of open-ended questions. So that way we can actually have a better conversation versus, did you have a good day? Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, did you eat anything for lunch? Yes. All right. So how was your day? What did you eat for lunch? Just making sure that you can have those open-ended questions it makes the conversation go a lot better and be more meaningful and have more sustenance.
Yeah, you can get more information out of it because you're not asking crappy yes or no questions.
Right.
Because that gives them an out. I'm like, all right, yes, no, next question. And it makes for a terrible conversation. It makes for bad communication. And then that leads to frustration. And that leads to misinterpretations and assumptions in your marriage. Yep. And that limits your belief in your spouse. Like, oh, I don't believe in them anymore. Or you'll make up these crazy stories in your mind that you made up. And that person could not mean that whatsoever. But because you weren't listening and you want to make your own judgment and your own interpretation or assumption, you make up something that didn't mean that whatsoever. And then you're not willing to even speak about it because you're frustrated and you're just judging them because you think you're right. And your ego is so big and your pride is so big that you just want to know that you're right. You don't care about that other person's perspective.
Yeah. And because we went through coaching together, like, we can call each other on that.
Yes.
So we can be like, that was definitely an assumption.
That was an assumption. That
Did not say that. Or is that's a limiting belief, I believe.
Yeah. How true is
sure-
that? Like, how
exactly.
true is that? Like, where did that come from?
Right.
Oh, I just made it up.
Yeah.
Oh, and we call each other out on our BS. Like that's bull crap. You
Right.
you not comfortably challenge them. Like you challenge them without insulting them.
Right, because you're not coming from a place of judgment.
You're not coming from a place of judgment. You're putting your judgment aside and really trying to understand the person.
Right. And I think that's another thing, Patrick. So as far as like understanding, like it allows you to like move the conversation even if you don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just allows you to have that okay, I'm not in the box.
Mm-hmm.
So being in the box is like you're being attached to the results.
Yeah.
So it's like you might not agree with the results or agree with the way that person is doing it, but are you pushing them and are you progressing them to what they actually want?
What they actually want, not what you want. You're not pressing your agenda on them. Like when you said something, when we were in a previous episode, we were talking about men not opening up to their wives emotionally. And when they do open up emotionally, and it's not the way that you would ultimately that you would express yourself, you can't be like, well, that's the wrong way to express it. Exactly. Don't be surprised when like your spouse open up to you and it's not the way that you would open up or deal with that situation, that you can't get all pissy and upset that they handled it that way. You got to be more understanding and be like, okay, and more loving unconditionally, which is marriage, what you're supposed to do in marriage in the first place. But
but if you don't have the tools,
but you ain't got the
to
tools.
do it.
You ain't got the tools. People think, oh, we're in love. I think love gonna conquer all. But if you won't have the awareness and the knowledge, then your marriage is only going to go so far, or it's only going to be so rich.
Yep.
It's not gonna have that richness into it, where you're not gonna be passionate and looking forward to like even the challenges. Like when we have challenges and adversity, we shift our like perspective into like, oh, that's an opportunity, man. Mm-hmm. Our bank account's negative. Well, that's an opportunity to do a budget. That's not an opportunity to go. That's not a problem to start fighting over. It's like, man, that's a great opportunity. What a great opportunity that is. Are your kids getting on your nerves? That's a great opportunity to spend some quality time with your kids.
Right.
Or
that's a great opportunity to be thankful that they're healthy enough to get on your nerves.
Would I say that? It was like, because we were just like, man, I'm glad my kids are getting on my nerves screaming around the house, because some parents would trade places with some parents at St. Jude's Children's Hospital would trade places with you in a freaking second to have a kid breaking everything in their house, but they're in the cancer bed fighting for their lives. Yes. And those are just sort of things that Talisha and I challenge each other on, especially when we're feeling like victims.
Mm-hmm. And it's so cool because we literally, I feel like we're tag team partners, because one of us will be down and the other one will be like, hey, pull out. Come on. You can do it. You can keep going. And then it's like tag.
Yeah, we use our we use our coaching skills, man. We do use our coaching skills. And another thing, we in like 2 years ago, we took a trip to High Performance Academy in Phoenix, Arizona. And one big takeaway we took away was, if you say something's fine, we be like, nope, freak, no. Fine is a 4-letter cuss word now. Because we aren't on this earth to be fine.
Just fine.
We're on this earth to be great and magnificent. And so that trip, I'm about 10 grand. I'm about 10, 5 grand trip. Man, that's about 5 grand.
That was not no 10 grand, Patrick.
Brendan gives great discounts.
Yeah. We had to fly out there and we had to pay for hotel and stuff. Expensive. But it was not 10 grand. Come on.
That's because you don't be knowing.
Well, unless you did some secret voodoo magic on our bank account, I'm telling you that trip was not that expensive.
It wasn't, but anyway, but that's an investment. Like, we could have went to the beach and chilled and not learned anything, but we decided to go to High Performance Academy to get our psychology better, our people skills better, our productivity better.
Yeah, and we met some really cool people along the way. And okay, so initially, so I have to let y'all know, I was not all in for this stuff because with the coaching, like I said, I went and I was like, nope, not gonna sell me, yada yada yada. I ended up enjoying. I loved it. And I was like, I have to know more. I cannot be stuck at this level of understanding and Patrick keep progressing. Like I refuse to stay stagnant while he's growing. I was like, I've got to come along with this journey because I want to know. I want to know how to communicate and talk like this. I want to know how I can talk energy and understand the levels because it was like, wait, there's more. And I want to know this stuff. I want to learn what's going to happen in my 2. And they'd say, oh, and this, we'll talk about more of this in my 3. And I'm like, what? I gotta go. I gotta know what's gonna happen in my 3. And so, but initially I was so like really not on board. I was like, okay, he wants to be a life coach. Here we go. She
thought education was enough. She thought her fancy degrees was enough to get you by in life.
Yes.
She's like, I have a doctor's in pharmacy. I know everything.
I didn't think I know everything. Maybe sometimes. But okay, so then whenever we go to Brendan, we get there. There's some freaking little like cardboard cutouts of Brendan, and people are like, oh, Brendan Burchard, la la la. And I was like, what kind of crap is this? And the first little breakout session we had, I was like, yeah, I'm not really into this like self-help stuff. Like Patrick he's more into the self-help stuff than me. And luckily, I don't think I offended anybody, but I was like, yeah, this is weird, and I think that he's probably a scam. This feels real phony. And then he starts talking, and he's like a real person, and he has real stories and real struggles, and his story is magnificent. And now, like Brendan Burchard's like boot camp, basically High Performance Academy. It is like the blueprint for exactly what I want to do. It is the gold standard for how I want events. Like I'm dreaming big, and I know that is something that we're gonna be able to do for couples at some point in our life.
Yeah, and it's not just about your personal development. It's about surrounding yourself with other people who want the same thing that you want. That's why we want to put on couples retreats. We want other people who are passionate about their relationships and their marriage. Because like I said, once you go out into that real world, you're back with the depressed people. You're back with the people who are like comfortable just going through life without any emotion or any like excitement. When you get on the elevator, hey, how you doing? Well, it's good for a Monday.
Fine.
It's good, or it's good for a Monday. I can't stand that response. I'm like, why aren't like you gotta be more passionate about life, and that's what that environment gives to you. But you also gotta put your bread up too.
Yep.
Like people can you look at people's bank account, you can see what they value in life.
Absolutely.
People put money where they value things. All right, straight up, point blank, period. You can look at people's calendar and see where their time goes, and you can see their bank account and see where their money goes. Money and time. That's what people care about, whether you're conscious of it or not. It's like, oh, you value Chick-fil-A, you value Bojangles, and you can look at the bodies and be like, all right, exactly.
And like,
I don't see any gym payments in your bank account, or like any personal development, or any kind of like education, or any kind of like just stuff like that. And like you can see, I value video games. You can look at our bank account. I value video games. I value a lot of books because I get a lot of books. You can see Talisha values shopping. It ain't hard to tell. What are you talking
about? You value video games.
Video game. I mean, you can look at my account. If you looked at my account, you'd be like, oh, there's some video game right there. Back in the PlayStations and stuff like that.
Oh, I was about to say, I'm about to come G-Tech you because what?
Anyways, and books and technology and stuff. You can see, or like stuff for my business and stuff. It's like, oh, okay, that's where his time and money is going. That's what he values. Or if you got children, you can see it's going to a bunch of children stuff. That's where your focus is. But where are you carving out and being intentional about your personal development in life and your growth in life, or your marriage? Like, and not just about like dinners and dates and stuff, but how are y'all growing spiritually? How are y'all growing mentally? How are y'all growing emotionally? How are you growing together physically? Like, do y'all work out? Do y'all hang out? Do y'all take walks together? You remember when we had that fun time we ran that 8K? That was freaking fun.
That
was freaking fun, man. So you can tell, and it costs money to go in our little running program at our gym to actually prepare for that. But it makes our marriage stronger because it made us stronger physically and helped us build a bigger connection. And you learn that in coaching to have that abundance mindset, not the scarcity mindset, not, oh, I can't afford it, but how can I afford it to make my life better? Because you understand that money is just an object. It's not like your life. It's just an object, just a way to get other things.
Right.
You have a new perspective on money, and there is an abundance of money. There's not a lack of money, and that you can tap into it and get more money or spend it on things that's going to help you get more money, but you don't make it like your center.
Yeah, it's definitely not the center anymore.
So, I mean, bunch of stuff that coaching taught us. What else? It's so much. It's so much more. But I think that's it.
And I mean, also just expounding on the community aspect of it. Like we're still pretty closely related to the people that we went through the coaching school with. Like we still stay in contact with them
because it was a journey.
Yeah, it was a journey.
They saw us cry. They saw our deepest, darkest moments.
Right. Exactly. And so just still having that community. So going back to like how we feel about marriages, like having that village and having that community. So that's why we created the marriage circle, because we want to continue that community. Like we have you all as podcast listeners, but we want to have a more intimate relationship with you all so that y'all can have a more intimate relationship with each other and just be able to have that same community and camaraderie that we experienced whenever we went through our coaching program.
Yeah, because you want to see other marriages that are succeeding. If yours isn't at the level where you think it should be, then you can like reach out to other people and see like, hey, I'm going through this situation. What would you do? People with more experience, people with more knowledge, people who can actually assist you. Because what people end up doing, or a lot of people make this huge mistake of trying to fix that crap by themselves.
Yep.
And first of all, you can fix it by itself. That's stupid. Why would God create so many people with so much wisdom and so much experience for you to try to figure anything out by yourself at this point in like the world's history? Exactly. Why? It's already been, I promise you have not been the first person to go through what you've been going through. And like what Brendan say, when people are depressed and suicidal, no one understands me. No one understands what I'm going through. It's because you're blocking yourself off from any possibility of learning from anybody else. So you've isolated yourself. You cut yourself off, and that's why you're gonna struggle. You're gonna struggle alone, and that's also what the devil wants you to do. He's like, all right, go ahead and try to figure that thing out by yourself. Don't open up to anybody else. Don't trust anybody else. Don't be vulnerable to anybody else. Go ahead. You can figure it out on your own. First of all, it's going to take you forever, and you're going to suffer more depression, more anxiety, more stress trying to figure that thing out by yourself, and you might end up losing what you were trying to hold on to in the first place.
Yep.
But
and look, on the flip side of not just more experienced people, but sometimes less experienced people, because they haven't gone through it, and they can come at it with a different lens and help you have that retrospection that you wouldn't have had otherwise.
They come with a fresh set of eyes.
Yeah. Oh, so in coaching, my favorite principle, and I always say it's a quote, but it's a principle, is everyone you meet is your student and your teacher.
Yes.
So like I live by that. I share that with so many different people because it's so true. You might be an expert at something, but you might be a novice at something else. So just making sure that you are listening to all the different types of people, students, teachers, because you don't know everything.
And same thing with your spouse. They can teach you something.
Yeah.
And you can teach them something. You can learn from them. That's why you're compliments of each other. Like Talisha teaches me stuff that I've never known before. I teach her stuff that she's never known before. And I don't be like, well, I'm at this level because I know this, and she's down there because she doesn't know this. I'm like, no, you bring them up. You bring them with you. Right. You're on a journey together. You're in a relationship to share your journey and your experience with each other. That's why we were created. That's the purpose, man. Share your journey and experience with each other so that you can learn and grow together and get to that kingdom together.
That's right. So thank you for allowing us to share our journey with you. And like I said, join that marriage circle so that you can share your journey with us.
Yes, and we look forward to seeing y'all in the marriage circle. I'll keep on sending out invitations too. But don't wait for it. Type it in Facebook, Patrick and Talisha's Marriage Circle. I'll put an advertisement out there. Not an official one. I'll just post it. That's why you got to be following us on our Instagram at Patrick and Talisha and liking our Facebook page at Patrick and Talisha. And that is it for today, guys. And we will catch you guys for First Class Friday.
All right, hurry up. We got just a little few more minutes until it's not Monday anymore.
God bless y'all.
Bye. Thank you for listening to On the Up and Up with Patrick and Talisha. For access to all of our episodes, please subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and wherever you listen to our show. Leave us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes, and we will give you a shout out on our next episode. Stay connected with us on Twitter and Instagram at I am Pat Ratliff and at the Farm D Mommy. Thanks again for listening, and we will see you next week. God bless.